What is going on, guys? Welcome back. Commentary for you. I want to thank my sponsor, Steel Supplements. Link and discount code down the description. You also know I'm a Webull preferable. It's their best promotion they have right now, not only with the fractional shares you're going to get. If you open an account, you're going to get them for free. If you deposit $1, you're going to get more for free. But the cash management promotion only available till the end of this month. You have to click the link to sign up. If you do that, no fees attached, no minimum balance, unlimited withdrawals. Simply get up to 5.8% APY on your uninvested cash. But you have to sign up with that link, and you have to do it before the end of the month. Tons of people, I think maybe up to 50 people this month taking advantage of it. Make sure you do the same before the promotion ends at the beginning of May. Maximum Football, some pretty good news today if you've been following this game. They released some screenshots, and I know detail, one of the things that really kept people from playing and enjoying this game. So we're taking a look at player models that look very good. We're taking a look at graphics, look on par with next generation consoles, in my opinion, at least from these still images. And we're even seeing some detail of those graphics, which is much needed when they're trying to promote their game. But we also did get some clarity about some important things going on with this game as it relates to the community that needs to support it, even if it's a free game, for people to embrace this game. And one of those things is community share. So they are going to say that you can import almost any image that you want as your logo. You can change any of your team's colors, patterns, equipment, and edit your rosters as much as you want and share all of it online. So this is something that hindered a lot of other games that had that open sandbox customization where people would go in and create alternate leagues, alternate years, alternate teams, and it was just something they shared. Being now you can have that on your own, it's a huge step. I think if we go back to Madden, it was a huge step when they had community rosters available, and it's always good to see games go out and let the community make things that everyone can enjoy. Can you make your own custom playbooks? This, again, something if we go back to Maximum Football before, very much championed the ability, actually had an agreement with the Spring League where you could go into practice and create your own plays. They say eventually you'll be able to create your own playbooks. Add and remove plays will be supported, and they look to have the custom plays put back into the game in a future update after launch. Now, what is most important to people, and one of the things that I believe has really hindered all of the independent games, will you launch with online multiplayer? And they said, play now, head-to-head, yes. And I think that's a great entry point. I think that will get people involved in the game. I think that's going to give people the ability to enjoy the game more. But Dynasty mode has to be something that they look to expand if they really are building this college experience, because really no game outside of Madden gives us that online franchise. So they say at first, Dynasty mode is only going to be playable offline, or as they deem it, alone, but they are going to start working on franchise being in multiplayer after launch. And that both modes will be kind of in the same sandlot, so you'll be able to send Dynasty players to your franchise leagues, draft them back and forth onto your pro teams, which I know is something that holds true to the vision David Winter had with the original Maximum Football, was to create kind of an all-encompassing, I don't want to say league, but let's just say world of college to pro football that gets bounced back and forth, and you have control over a very wide net of simulation football. They also go on to say what they deem will be stunning graphics, authentic gameplay, physics-based tackles, powered by the Unreal Engine 5, which we spoke about before, and they've talked about the ability to have endless customization, which, as I kind of touched on at the beginning of this video, Great way to have your teams, logos, jerseys, helmets, individual pieces of equipment, and then share those creations. I think that kind of goes back to, you can have the team replicate, let's just say, the Indianapolis Colts. You can have the team names and numbers there, but from a creation standpoint, and I think even we've seen EA kind of being the standard bearer with the equipment, you want the players to identify with themselves individually. And that's one of the things that's really been a struggle when you look at going out and getting these games on your own, going through and creating every single player, every single team the way you need it to be. What we found is, even all the way back to Backbreaker, the best way to go about this is to have one person know their team well, go through and assess how those players wear their equipment, upload that, and then combine them all to kind of create the ultimate league. I will say the problem that I've seen with that in the past is people tend to overvalue their own players, so you kind of end up with a hodgepodge of, well, this is the best corner in the league, this is the best quarterback in the league, when, maybe they won't be the best quarterback or cornerback in the league, but the person that's a fan of that team thinks they are. So it'll be interesting to see kind of how that works, because I know even when we talk about Madden, there's always been people that have claimed there's a bias in the way the ratings are done. That's never going to go away. I will just say, at least in this case, hopefully it provides a starting point for all of us to be able to go in and at least get the teams that we want, the league that we want, the players that we want, and have them matter. And they actually finish this by saying they want to continue to expand downloadable content and roll things out regularly, including new features, new rules, new modes, and additional customizations, which I can only think would be going into, like they talked about with the plays, perhaps going on with stadiums, and maybe we'll start to understand a little bit more what's going to be held behind a paywall when you look at this. I do also just want to close this out with the Dynasty mode, and the fact that if you go back and look at what Maximum Football had in the past, it was absolutely massive as far as the way the league was structured, the number of players that came in. It was, I will say, overwhelming, but when you're trying to run an entire college football operation, it should be. And I think when you look at that through the lens of multiple teams playing as real individuals, that's going to be fun. I mean, simply to be able to go out and look at how the recruiting would work with multiple humans trying to recruit players. I know just offline with what David Winter had created, it was really engaging and fun, although at times very repetitive. So it'll be nice to actually have real humans play against you in these roles and probably add another layer of replayability. The game was, if you go back and look, I did a whole year, hours and hours and hours of content with this game. And that was just with the computer. Against actual people that go out and have their own teams, I think it really lends itself well to YouTube, to any type of social media, be it Twitch, because it's so involved, and you really can't atone for every team's story. You can only atone for your own. So the fact that they're going to be able to have everyone go out and maybe in those 16, 8, possibly some of the 32-team leagues, have every single team be able to tell their own story, have their own path, and have their own leadership, it really is going to be something like I don't think we've seen. And I think ultimately that was what David Winter's vision was. A football game like we've never seen, and it looks to me like Modus is actually on the cusp of getting this game out in the hands of gamers. Love to know your thoughts on this. Appreciate you watching this, and I will be back in the week with more commentary.